Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint, your weekday newscast that brings you five major stories from the world of business. It's Friday, April 4th, 2025. This is Nelson John. Let's get started. Donald Trump just rattled global trade, but India's markets barely flinched. The US president's new tariffs, 10% on all imports and a hefty 27% on Indian goods, sent global markets tumbling. Japan's Nikkei plunged nearly 3%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell 1.5%. Yet India's Sensex and Nifty 50 dipped only slightly before recovering some ground. You may wonder why the resilience. Market analysts believe India's position is relatively secure. This doesn't hurt our competitive edge against Vietnam or Bangladesh, says Devina Mehra of First Global. Still, uncertainty looms. Foreign investors pulled 2,806 crore rupees from Indian stocks, while domestic institutions stepped in with 221 crore rupees. The bond markets tightened slightly, and the rupee firmed up at 85.44 against the dollar. Meanwhile, gold is surging. Investors are rushing to safe havens amid fears of a U.S. economic slowdown. Central banks are increasing gold reserves, signaling concerns over the dollar, says analyst Riya Singh. With markets bracing for further volatility, the question remains, is this just the beginning of a bigger economic shift? India's petroleum exports to the US just hit a roadblock. With Washington imposing a 27% tariff on Indian imports, the $6 billion fuel trade is set to take a hit. The trade deficit will widen especially for crude, says Deepak Mahukar of PwC India. The US is a key buyer of India's refined petroleum, especially gasoline. Post-Ukraine war, as the West cut Russian oil supplies, India emerged as a major supplier. But this tariff threatens that flow. India's petroleum exports grew 3.7% in volume this fiscal, yet revenue dropped 7% to $40.4 billion. Private refiners like Reliance and Nayara Energy will feel the squeeze. Could India retaliate? Unlikely, as reciprocal tariffs on US crude and LNG would drive up domestic prices. However, to appease Washington, India is considering increasing imports of US WTI crude. For now, India's refining ambitions remain on track, but with Trump's trade moves, the energy landscape is shifting fast. In a major relief for India's pharmaceutical sector, the Trump administration has exempted it from the new reciprocal tariffs imposed on Indian imports. Industry experts say this highlights the sector's crucial role in providing affordable medicines worldwide, including the US. The decision underscores the importance of cost-effective, life-saving generics in public health and economic stability, said Sudarshan Jain, Secretary General of Indian Pharmaceutical Alliance (IPA). India supplies 40% of the US's generic drugs, saving the country $219 billion in healthcare costs in 2022 alone. With India exporting $8.7 billion of pharmaceutical products to the US while importing just $800 million, the exemption is a win-win. Experts believe it positions Indian manufacturers to further dominate the global pharma market. However, concerns remain. Trade lawyer Arvind Sharma warned that future scrutiny under Section 232, focusing on national security, could challenge Indian farmers' free access to the US. For now, the exemption cements India's role as the pharmacy of the world, with an opportunity to expand next-gen generics and biosimilars with strengthening domestic API production. BMW has defied industry concerns over slow EV adoption, reporting a threefold increase in electric vehicle sales in the first quarter of 2024. The German car maker sold 646 EVs from January to March, making up 17% of its total sales, 3,914 units, with overall sales rising 7% year-on-year. Some players had unrealistic expectations about EV adoption, said Vikram Pawar, President and CEO of BMW Group India. While brands like Tata Motors and Maruti Suzuki remain cautious, citing infrastructure challenges and consumer hesitation, BMW sees strong demand, even beyond major metros. The company's latest EV, the BMW iX1 long wheelbase, unveiled at Auto Expo 2024, has already received 1,500 bookings. Last year, BMW's total India sales reached 15,721 units, with 1,249 being electric. However, the global auto industry faces headwinds, including a US-imposed 25% tariff on auto imports. Analysts suggest that the car makers are refocusing on internal combustion engines due to policy uncertainty. EV adoption will continue to grow, albeit at a cautious pace. After a false start, Thailand's Dusit International is making a bold return to India, aiming for 30 hotel signings and 3,000 rooms over the next 3 years. This is our second stint in India, and we want to get it right, says Siraday Donavanik, VP of Global Hotel Development. The Thai hospitality giant first entered India in 2013 but exited in 2017 after a failed partnership. Now it's back with a sharper strategy, focusing on Tier 2 and 3 cities while maintaining a metro presence. Led by industry veteran Deepika Arora, Dusit is rolling out luxury and upper mid-scale brands. Upcoming openings include Dusit Princess Hotels in Raipur, Bhiwadi, Kolkata and Lonavala, along with boutique luxury properties in Kasol and Manali. With India's luxury travel market booming, set to hit $410 billion by 2030, Dusit wants in. While currently working with local partners, the company is open to future investments in Tier 1 cities. It's a high-stake bet on India's growing appetite for experiential travel. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We are eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest in business news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a fabulous Friday.